Saludos plagas, soy Volkova y bienvenidos una vez más a este concluyente canal. Hoy, The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, capítulo 85, Descansa Geralt. No, loco. Qué pena, loco. Yo no quería matar a Detlef. De hecho, por eso le entregué a Siana, pero claro, a Siana la salvé involuntariamente con el lazo. Qué putada. 2 semanas después. Taller del sastre.
My, what a smashing ensemble. You wear it well.
Shut up. I look like a twit.
La verdad es que sí.
Kaftan is sewn of the best fabrics available, and according to the best tailoring practices. But one must have a modicum of taste to appreciate this. Even the most exquisite robes cover only deficiencies in beauty, never in refinement.
Todavía estoy pensativo por Detlef, loco. No lo quería matar. A ver, pero uno debe tener el mínimo de gusto para apreciarlo. Incluso las túnicas más exquisitas solo cubren las deficiencias de la belleza, nunca las del refinamiento. Al gusto de los colores.
Rather not bicker about taste. Don't like to. It's neither interesting nor productive.
This particular Witcher has an inborn intolerance for formal occasions. Yet he's to attend just such an event shortly. I expect that's the source of his prickliness. So try not to take things personally, Master Taylor. Rather pity him. For in truth, stage fright overwhelms him. He trembles at the thought that he has no notion how to behave in the presence of Her Grace's Majesty.
As well he should. All that being as it may, Toussaint's highest honor, the Order of Vitis Vinifera, demands appropriate attire. The Duchess cannot be expected to drape the medal on a suit of armor caked in mud. Palace protocol places enormous emphasis on form, virtuous tradition, etiquette.
Huh. A tradition which values appearances ahead of all else. Which calls for lordly, glistening triviality and misplaced generosity.
Sound wistful. Pensive, Regis. That because they refuse to buy you a new outfit?
Hardly. It's the tone I ever adopt when I find myself pondering, which, believe it or not, happens quite a lot. Besides, I've no need for a new outfit as I shall not be attending the ceremony.
Why not?
Because unlike you, I don't have to. I shall begin to pack my belongings instead. I trust you'll join me later, once you're richer by a medal and a fascinating new experience.
Count on it. Ceremonies, medals honoring virtues, just keeps coming up.
I've had no reprieve either. And I keep thinking of the last great virtue, compassion. It's the one piece of the puzzle that never seemed to fit.
Mean you suddenly believe the 5 virtues theory, after all we've revealed?
It's not a question of belief, superstition, or old wives' tales. It's a conclusion derived through exercising pure logic. Siana planned everything in advance. Had we not stopped her, surely there'd have been a 5th victim. One the gossips would have associated with a lack of compassion.
Her plans don't matter now. Can't act on them. Ask the messenger who delivered my invitation to the ceremony. Siana's in the palace. Courtiers pressured the Duchess to lock her in a tower.
Do you care not a whit who else was in her black book? We've some time before the ceremony. We could still chat with that boot-cleaning urchin. He was the one to pass the victims' names to Detlef. Perhaps we missed something.
Él era quien le pasaba los nombres de las víctimas a Detlef. Tal vez nos hemos pasado algo por alto. Limpiabotas.
Regis, Bootblack didn't say anything about making deliveries when we talked to him. How do you know he handled the letters?
While you basked in glory and tried on new formal wear, I conducted a little investigation of my own. You'd be very proud to see how I conducted myself. I began by concocting an ample supply of boot wash for our enterprising young friend. I'd observed that among street folk, amidst their society as a whole, reciprocity takes precedence over all other codes, and thus no good deed goes unrewarded. Of course, the same holds true for malicious or destructive deeds.
The letters, what's the connection?
When the bootblack arrived to collect his bucketful, he hinted he knew more. Simply put, we'd failed to ask the proper questions when we chatted earlier. It took a bit more tongue-loosening, but ultimately he spoke. He admitted he'd handed Dettlaff the letters. He knew this information was valuable to me. In providing it, he was simply repaying me.
¿Nos veremos allí o vamos? Mierda. Vale, limpiabotas le daba las cartas a Dettlaff. ¿Quién le daba las cartas al limpiabotas? ¿El Citriano, quizás? ¿O Cecilia? ¿O algún enviado del Citriano? Evidentemente se las mandaba a Siena, obvio. Tienes razón, tenemos que hablar con el limpiabotas. Vamos, para ir inmediatamente. No es una mala idea hablar con el limpiabotas. Nos veremos allí. Supongo que estas dos primeras, esta es para ir ya y esta es para ir después de la gala. Me interesa saber cómo va la gala. Tengo curiosidad. Pero si descubro algo, o sea, si voy ya y descubro algo, lo podría utilizar en la gala. Si voy después de la gala, pues ya creo que sería demasiado tarde. Pero vamos de una.
No, why not check up on that? We'll go together, assuming we're done here.
I am done, yes. It lies in your hands now to see if you are able to present my handiwork at the ceremony with the dignity it is due. Or if you will first destroy it, crawling about the city's underbelly.
Promise to be careful.
Oh, it's the swordsman. Good to see you. Here for a spiffing? Dirty boots are a stain on professional dignity, you know. Step on up.
Need to ask you something.
Yet again? Go on then. I'm a proponent of free speech and I will gladly tell you all I know. But why not get your boots shanked while we jabber?
Guess they could use a spit and polish.
Then I shall take advantage as well. A friend of mine used to say boots should be as clean as the soles that wear them.
Clean boots, clean soles. A fine slogan.
Hola, niño.
Business.
Well enough, I can't complain. Though it'd be even better were certain folk to sit down for a shine as they stood and chatted.
Man in the frock coat. You passed him some letters, remember?
Why, of course. I'm young, got a mind like a steel trap, but...
If you're about to tell me this information will cost me, forget it. How'd you get those letters?
Beggars brought them.
Me las traían los mendigos. Los
Why didn't you tell us
mendigos.
this before, when we first talked?
You didn't ask about beggars now, did you?
Beggars. Tell us more about them. How many were there?
Why, 4. 1 for each letter.
Just 4? Sure you didn't get a 5th?
I can't count, you know.
Remember anything else? These beggars have anything in common?
What? Come now. Each was different. Some had mismatched boots, others had no boots at all. Oh, I know! They all had no home!
Kid, my patience is starting to run a little thin. Now think hard.
¿Te acuerdas de su aspecto?
Remember what they looked like?
Of course. I've a mind like a steel trap, as I said.
Andrajosos,
They were ragged,
sin afeitar,
unshaved.
la ropa hecha
Their clothes were
jirones.
tattered. As to their boots, well, I mentioned that already.
Geralt, allow me to ask a question. Listen, lad. I'll be glad to mix another batch of that boot shine for you. But you must focus now and tell us all you know. Where can we find the beggars?
Well, at the shelter, most like.
Where's that?
Everyone knows. It's just round the corner. Up those stairs, then right.
Subiendo las escaleras por la derecha.
For your trouble. We must visit the shelter. Look around inside.
Saquear. ¿Saquear qué, Geralt? El... 5. F5 dije. Espera, niño. Va. Lista de precios.
Life in Beauclair can be quite dear. Death, though, that's always
20 coronas. 15 coronas no recomendado. Vámonos.
Learn some bleating culture, Greylocks. You're in Tucson.
Wanna play blind man's bluff?
You've to move your little camp elsewhere, got it? This is a decent district. We need no filth folk bumming about.
Me voy a ensuciar la ropa.
To raise your voices. You? What do you want?
To talk.
Here, that's a waste of breath. We've tried it, only to tire our lips. We'll use other means of persuasion now.
Gentlemen, calm, please.
Either get out along with these flea-ridden vagabonds, or we'll toss you all out. Our patience is gone. This place is no longer a rank refuse dump.
Scram! Decent folk live here.
The shelter, them living here, bothers you. Question is why.
Look, Ballard. Another
Ballard.
defender of the poor, fighter for justice.
Damn nuisance. We've our women and young folk living next door, when even grown men fear to walk past such rabble.
Decent folk you mention. Mean yourselves?
Why? Do you doubt it?
Hell yes.
Hear that, Artois? He poking insults us. On our own turf.
Regin me dejó el roto,
We should step aside, good fellow. My friend is perfectly capable of settling this unfortunate dispute on his own.
Regin me dejó el roto.
Witcher. Fucking twit. Not a witcher. My guns in fear.
Shut up and fight.
Braid your guts around your spine.
Ah, bueno.
Come now, Twitcher. Try me.
Grey-haired puppy knobber. grate your guts around your spine.
A ver, vení. Voy a boxear. A lo paqueado. Pim. Pam. Pumba. Y pim. Pam. Pim. Háblame. My weather, pussy. Paqueado, win.
All right. I can take a hint. Come, time to go. I thank you so much for your aid. I tried to reason with them, but they'd have beat me blue had you not come along. I'm grateful. Immensely.
What did they want from you?
They are neighbors. Wish me to take my folk, the shelter, elsewhere. They dislike that I help the beggars. I do not oppose going elsewhere were we to have somewhere to go. But you've come with a problem, have you? My turn to aid you.
Un refugio, Geralt, pero bueno.
Poorhouse?
You could call it that. They come here to rest and eat a hot meal.
You help them, why?
Because they need help.
Muy bien.
Need some information. Looking for a man who might have mentioned the boot black in Rue de Garl.
The boot black. A feisty lad. I know him.
Any of your, wards supposed to meet him recently or soon?
Forgive me. Those I help and I are not so close that I would know. But should you wait, they'll all soon come for their meal. You can question them yourselves.
Sure all your usual beggars will be here?
They're not obliged to come, of course. But they rarely find a decent meal elsewhere. So, almost all in the area eat here.
Thanks. We'll wait. Nice of you to let us.
My dears, I've a matter to address before I serve the soup. These two gentlemen have some questions of you. Pay attention. Answer in brief. For if you draw it out, your soup will go cold. And we wouldn't want that, would we?
Recently, 4 of you delivered sealed letters to the boot black. I know this.
Does anyone know what the gentleman means? Go on, speak up. Romain?
Why should I squeal? We were all told not to mention the letters. We all swore.
You
Ahí.
can tell me, Romain. You were given a letter and you delivered it, right? Good work, Romain. Thank you. Who else?
I got one too. Gave it to the boot black. And Freshy, he got one. But he can't tell you, as he's not here.
Uno no la entregó.
Still half mine. I'm to deliver it 2 days after the feast of St. Barnabas.
Todavía tengo la mía. Tengo que entregarla 2 días después de la fiesta de Barnabas, de San Barnabas. La carta ya no te sirve de nada. Dame esa carta. Vamos a ser más asertivos.
I need the letter. It's very important. It's no use to you anymore.
But I was to deliver it personally. Let no one else see it. That is what
Ella.
she said, and she was frightening.
You ought to heed folk who are kind and honest. These men helped me a short while ago, helped all of us. If this individual threatened you, you need not keep the promise you made.
All right, take it. I didn't want to see the boot black anyways. It's always muddy there.
En la Henrietta. No creo.
Damn it.
What is it? Another name, truly?
See for yourself.
Well, I must say,
Ni yo me lo
I've not
esperaba.
expected this.
En la Henrietta.
This time you will see to our Duquesa. It seems we underestimated Siana rather grossly.
Judging by this, Detloff was literally supposed to tear her heart out.
Literalmente.
Yet first you must snap her neck. Puzzling.
Ana Henrietta, loca. Asombroso.
Puzzle complete now.
Alas, the matter's ceased to be a tantalizing brain tease and has turned incredibly grave. We've proof of a plot to assassinate Toussaint's ruler. We've proof of a coup
Un
d'etat.
golpe de estado. Buah, loco. Iba a matar a Ana Henrietta.
Duchess was to be Detloff's last victim. Siana planned it from the start.
Indeed. The logical conclusion, Geralt.
4 seemingly random victims to start. The virtue's their only link. Enough to get folk talking about a righteous, vengeful beast. Obscured the victims' links to Siana, even as she had those she despised killed off one by one, leaving the Duchess for last.
Had she managed to fulfill her plan, none would have questioned the reasons. Most would have thought Anna Henrietta had died for her sins. She was known to show a hard heart on many occasions. Ample proof of a lack of compassion.
Why would Siana murder her own sister? Out of envy? To take power?
No, se lo dijo ya porque creía que se había olvidado de ella.
Yes, yes, and yes. All seem likely, and none are mutually exclusive. But if you'd like to know for certain, you could always ask her yourself.
Ella lo dijo cuando estábamos en el mundo este de las fábulas. Que la odiaba porque sentía que se había olvidado de ella. Me encantaría conocer sus motivos. ¿Crees que sería una buena idea? Esto es ir a hablar directamente con ella. Y este seguramente es ir a hablar con Ana Henrietta. ¿Qué hago, loco? ¿Advertir a Ana Henrietta? A Siena la van a exiliar directamente en una torre. Pero si le digo a Ana Henrietta eso, a lo mejor va y la manda a matar. Porque no se va a sentir segura. Teniendo a la confabuladora en una torre del palacio. Y si hablo con... Uf, loco, no sé qué hacer. Si hablo con Siena, a lo mejor termina la trama ahí en plan... Escuchando las razones de Siena, no sé si hable después con Ana Henrietta. Hablar con ella.
Actually, love to learn her motives.
Praiseworthy, I suppose. Sometimes one should stare evil in the face.
Seems a bit strong, no?
She used my friend as her tool for killing. I believe I've every right to condemn her. But I support your lust for the truth. Some philosophers think empirical examination the sole path to knowledge.
Sí, señor.
I believe you mentioned the Duchess keeps Siana locked up.
Courtiers were insisting on a harsher punishment. Much harsher. Think Anna Henrietta had to protect her sister from a lynch mob as much as she wanted to protect her subjects from a criminal. One way or another, she's locked away in a secluded wing of the palace, awaiting trial before a court of law. I'd need to get past some guards to see her.
Vamos con Regis. Regis me puede ayudar.
Coming with?
Of course not.
Ah.
I shall await you at Mare la Chaise Longue. I'll not risk entering the palace after Detloff and his minions rampage. Besides, I vastly prefer the company of a simple mug of mandrake brew to that of the Duchess's vile sister.
So, said straight up, it means you're going off to get drunk because you hate Siana.
Sí.
Never been fond of categorical statements of that kind, but I admit I could not vouch for my behavior in her presence. She treated Detloff cruelly, caused his death in the end, and now this? Atop all that? No, Geralt. I will not go with you. I will await you at the cemetery.
Mierda. Todo por un puto lacito, loco. En una partida de Win me ganó un lazo de mierda y se salvó esta cabrona. Señora, sus calzones, señora. Opcional hablar con Siena, opcional. Bonito, loco. Ahí Siena. Ahí el mierdero, loco. 5. Murales en yeso. Temple se llama esa técnica. Es pigmento con huevo. Con clara de huevo. Vale, buenas. Arriba, vale. Halt!
Halt!
Need to see Sienna urgently.
In the matter of?
Want to talk to her. It's important.
Want to talk? Go see your gran at tea time. Not one locked up on the Duquess's orders.
Este
No
perro hijo de
doing without
puta.
special permission.
Le voy a meter una axia.
Found some information important to her case. Need an explanation urgently.
Ah, fine then. You're that witcher who solved the murders, no? Then you've my permission, but only for a few minutes.
Promise to be brief.
Muy bien, Geralt. Geralt diplomático. Por si acaso, tengamos listo el axia.
The witcher will speak with the inmate. You can take a momentary break.
As long as it's truly but a moment. Highly irregular, this.
Have you come to see how I fare? I'm fine, thank you. Artorius' ribbon worked wonders. It's a shame they took it from me.
I know who the 5th victim was supposed to be.
Goodness, you're simply a compulsive snoop. I'm in prison. Detlef is dead. Could you not just drop it?
Sienna, stop pretending you couldn't care less. I know it's an act, and it's really starting to wear. Why do you want to kill her?
For such an accomplished investigator to ask about the obvious? Come now, Geralt. Why do you think?
Que te dio la espalda y se olvidó de ti. Pero esto no es verdad. Ya no sé. Bueno, sí, hasta cierto punto.
Because she turned her back on you, then banished all memory of you.
Bravo, Geralt. Yet another riddle solved, and your sick curiosity sated. Well, what now? Off to share your discovery with Anna Henrietta? Oh, she's no longer in danger, true. But she very well might add a little something to your reward.
Definitely gonna tell her. Not necessarily for the coin, though.
Then why do it at all?
She ought to know. If only 'cause you'll probably try to kill her again if she ever lets you out.
I probably will.
Es probable que lo haga, lo sabía.
Perhaps, just for a second, you could stop dwelling on all the wrongs folk have done you and forgive her.
Why should I?
For old time's sake. You loved each other once.
Please. I don't know who fed you that rubbish, but...
Read your governess's diary. You played together, were inseparable. Henriette'd get you into trouble sometimes, sure, but there were also times she stood up for you. When you had nightmares, only she could calm you. Time eats away at memories, distorts them.
Eso que era ahí,
Sometimes we
ahí,
only remember the good,
en su cabeza, métete en su
sometimes
cabeza.
only the bad.
If she loved me so, why did she wash her hands off me? Forget me, hmm?
Podrías preguntárselo, era solo una niña. Vale. Si tanto me quería, ¿por qué se desentendió de mí? ¿Por qué se olvidó de mí, Es que, a ver, por un lado, Henrietta tuvo que asumir el ducado joven y preocuparse por los problemas del ducado. Seguramente si le pregunta le va a decir eso. Tenía que preocuparme por los problemas del ducado. Tenía que estar pendiente del ducado, de la gente.
Sienna, you were exiled when she was how old? 12? 13? She was a child. What was she supposed to do? Rebel? Organize a coup? Steal your father's seal and forge a pardon? She was powerless. Wiped you from her memory not because she didn't care, but because your departure was traumatic for her. She forgot because that was the only way she could handle the pain.
Ugh. You meant what you said in the Land of 1,000 Fables. You really want a happy ending to this story, don't you?
Ya DeVlaf no. Ya DeVlaf F.
Ah, with all of us living happily ever after. Go, Witcher, or they'll give your medal to another. And that would be a shame.
Farewell, Sienna.
Coño.
Commander de la Tour would like to see you. Shall we go at once?
También creo que es.
Want to see him too. Damien.
Geralt, it's about time. Ready for the ceremony?
Uy, el zarpazo que le dejaron a este weón en la cara. Tiene buen aspecto. El mi pecho.
Doesn't look good. Though it looked even worse last I saw you.
I apply a balm of arnica. Yeah, I hardly feel it anymore.
Sé quién iba a ser la quinta víctima. ¿Qué hacemos, loco? Si le cuento, la conversación que tuve con Sienna se va al carajo. De que ojalá ella pueda perdonar. Porque la dejé pensativa. Si no le cuento, a lo mejor Sienna perdona a la Henrietta y recapacita. Es que no se lo quiero contar a Damien porque Damien seguramente... Ah, coño, ¿qué hago? Podemos empezar. Tengo que contarle. Para que estén pendientes, por si acaso. Y no sé si tenga que la oportunidad después de hablar con el Henrietta.
Anna Henrietta was supposed to be Detloff and Sienna's fifth victim.
You are certain of this?
Completely. Found proof.
Inconceivable. How could she? The murders, the mayhem she brought down on the city, were they not enough? She sought to strike down her own sister, her liege. Traitor. I must alert my men. Enlarge the Duchess's honor guard. Make certain Sylvia Anna is closely watched during the questioning. I'll see to it personally. I thank you, Witcher, for alerting me, and I appreciate your attentiveness. Let's begin the ceremony. Come with me. The Duchess awaits.
Se caen las rosas. No me gustó ese ejemplo. No me gustó esa animación final. Como que van cayendo las rosas.
In the Guild's name, I beg your assistance, your enlightened highness. Without barrels, production will come to a stop, and it will be the end of us.
You lost them all in the fire. These are horrible tidings. Oh, we are most dreadfully saddened.
Yes, your enlightened highness all. Once the beasts had clawed their way into the warehouse, the whole place went up in flames.
I shall dispatch a palace guardsman to examine the site of the blaze. If things are, as you say, fitting compensation shall be paid from the ducal treasury.
Thank you, your enlightened highness. Your Grace, Geralt of Rivia has arrived.
My dear subjects, we come now to our next point of business. Of all the duties which fall upon my shoulders, as the ruler of this dominion, this duty is dearest to my heart. For now, we shall award the Order of Vitis Vinifera, Tucson's highest honor.
Geralt of Rivia, slayer of the beast of Beauclair, step forth.
We bestow the distinction upon the Witcher, who saved Beauclair from the terrible beast. Such is our desire. May this symbol serve as a reminder to all that the Witcher shall forever remain a friend of Beauclair. In more familiar terms now, I thank you immensely, Geralt. Damien has your reward for you. After all, it was but a contract.
Thank you.
I have a small surprise for you, in addition. I give you more than
Con
a
mi
dozen
corona, ¿no?
barrels of Son Real, a wine normally reserved for the ducal table. The gustatory experience of a lifetime awaits. Are you content?
¡Ay, hijo de puta! Tengo malas noticias, Siena pretendía mataros. ¡Ah, mierda! ¡Ay, coño! Que tengo que ser sincero con esta vieja. El vino me importa una mierda, la verdad. Me siento muy honrado.
I am, and truly grateful, Your Grace. Sadly, I'm afraid I have to sour the mood. It's Sienna. She plotted to have you killed, Duchess. Planned to use Dettlaff. You were to be the beast's fifth victim.
Decírselo delante de todos.
This cannot be true. You're mistaken. You must be.
I have proof.
I do not believe it. In a moment I shall speak to Sienna. Will you assist me? You returned my sister to me, yet what you tell me now I find devastating. I've come to doubt that I can judge her fairly.
I'd far prefer to learn you're mistaken, Geralt.
I'm not. In fact, I'd recommend you be particularly careful around her.
You exaggerate, Witcher. She is my sister. I know well how to speak to her.
If my presence will help in any manner, of course I'll stay.
We shall now question a person implicated in the murders which recently ravaged our fair city of Beauclair. Captain de la Tour, show Sylvia Anna in.
Hijo de puta.
The Witcher will take part in our talk.
The Duchess requested I be present.
You have committed crimes. Grave crimes. Yet you are my sister. And my heart does not allow me to treat you as a common criminal. Nor does it let me believe you sought my demise. My heart yearns to know you were swayed by the monster Dettlaff. You yourself would never stoop so low. Thus I have asked Geralt to advise me, as one impartial. I shall now hear what he has to say.
Verdad, lo bueno.
Bitterness consumes Siana. She had cause to resent many of the court of Beauclair. I know her reasons, understand them even. But I can't condone the actions she chose to take.
What is he talking about, Siana?
You know exactly what. I was forcibly exiled, remember? To your benefit. You knew well the throne would then be yours, though I was the elder. The ministers I can understand. They'd hated me since I was a child, thought me a poor prospect for the wife of a duke. I even understand our parents. I'd always sensed the problem. They simply feared me, for I dared to be free. That fabricated curse, it fell into their laps. A gift from above that brought relief. But you... your dagger hurt most. You were my Henrietta, dammit. My darling little sister. Now do you understand, Witcher? She betrayed me.
Claim to understand them all? Why'd you come back for revenge? Have them all cut down then?
They deserved my vengeance. They detested me, all of them, as long as I can remember. But Henrietta understood me. Once. She was all I could cling to. Her betrayal hurt the most.
Era muy pequeña, loco.
You were children then. You and your sister both had no control over what happened.
You're wrong, Witcher. She had control. Remember, dear sister, the day they banished me from the palace? Of course, I'd had the idea to pelt the Nilfgaardian envoy with fish bladders, which we filled with rancid suet on a lark. And which you set afire at the last, to impress me, I imagine. And I admit, you did. Hit him right in his hideous bald patch. Never laughed so hard in my life. But when it came time to find the culprit, you said not a word. I took all the blame and all the punishment.
It's true. I did not stand up for you. I was too afraid.
The council was unanimous. They listed all my offenses. My flights from the palace, supposed acts of cruelty, inappropriate friendships. They cast me out. But you, the only one to understand me, you cowered in a corner, lifted not a finger to help. Not before, not after. You never tried to find me.
That's not true. I searched for you, sent out knights, gathered tidings from without. You did not wish to be found.
Y yo. Se equilibra la cosa, loco. Estamos cerca del perdón. De la reconciliación.
I'm sorry, dear sister. Can you forgive me?
¡Coño! ¡Siana! Cosquillas. Señora que viene ahí al fondo, ¿quién es? Perdónala, mujer, perdónala. Abrázala. No la apuñales por la espalda, por favor. Geralt, like. Abre los ojos, mira a Geralt. Dale las gracias. Ay, maldita, no le dio las gracias a Geralt. Geralt el justo. Detlef el muerto. Pobrecito Detlef, loco. Yo no quería matar a Detlef, caño. Bueno, no lo maté, yo lo mató Regis. A menos que esté vivo. No lo sé.
All in all, best part of the whole ceremony, it was short.
Perhaps for you, as you ducked out early. The others are probably just getting started. The drunkenness never ends in this quaint realm.
Not so fond of Toussaint after all, are we?
Oh, this place is like a strong wine, Geralt. Good in small sips.
Muy bien, Regis.
How do you find my personal brew? Not too strong?
Just right.
Credit the local mandrake of the Alrauna diavolis variety for that. The tubers which grow in this area's volcanic soil have an altogether unique flavor profile and display a remarkably uncommon dark brown tint.
Fascinating. All I can say is this batch turned out excellent.
Indeed. It might be wise to stockpile some roots for the future. Would you care to accompany me?
You decide to go root picking now? It's dark out.
Geralt, even were I generously to assume it had simply slipped your mind that I am a vampire and thus need no light to see, I'd never believe you had also forgotten that you likewise have absolutely no trouble seeing in the dark. So, shall we?
Vamos, Regis. Let's go. Vamos a buscar raíces. Es el que me diga.
Fresh mandrake root of this variety is highly toxic.
Yo le digo, vale, vale. Me callo. Like. Finalísimo, Finalísimo. Guantes para recoger mandrágora. Máscara para recoger mandrágora.
Thanks. Right then. Let's go.
Ojo. ¿Los tengo puestos? Espera. Primero F, tipo. Vale. Guantes, ¿dónde están? ¿Por qué no los tengo puestos? ¿Qué pasó aquí? Pimba. Máscara. Down. Y los guantes. Down. Vamos, Geralt.
Moonlight makes me oh so dreamy.
Penny for your thoughts. Let me guess. Succubus twins?
No, I was thinking about, how anything can look interesting when properly lit.
Even an old necrophage corpse?
You've not an ounce of refinement in you, have you?
Recoge raíces de mandrágora. 2. Vale, aquí hay una.
Where'd that bloodsucker go? Won't be easy to track down. He is a vampire after all. Damn it, where'd you go? Regis! Damn it, where'd you go? Regis! Damn it, where'd you go?
Ay.
Regis!
Damias, ¿qué coño?
I did what I had to do.
No, lo están buscando por matar a Detlef.
Those Bruxay, they called you a
Traidor.
Alas,
Oh,
we've a very
mierda.
simple code of honor, we vampires. So simple you might call it trivial. Either one is with us, unconditionally, regardless of the circumstances, or
Won't let it go, will they?
they will not. Fortunately, we've another rule, an unwritten one, and just as trivial as the first. It is neatly summarized in the saying, out of sight, out of mind. That is why I must leave Toussaint. For a vastly long time, most like.
Yeah, I get it.
Let us make for my camp. I've an overwhelming desire to have another drink. Supreme bouquet. Firm, defined beginning.
Buah, el Ricky se va a volver un borracho
Rising
loco.
to a startling finish. Don't you think?
Not much of a connoisseur.
Then it is high time you started your education. After all, the Corvo Bianco vineyard is now yours. By the way,
Ojo, es un regalito.
on the nightstand.
Thanks. Mind telling me what it is?
A trifle. That will nonetheless be useful should you need mutagens. Incidentally, have you thought about what you'll do with your prize? Shall you hang your swords over the mantle and take to pruning vines?
¿Qué vas a hacer con tu premio? ¿Colgarás las espadas sobre la repisa de la chimenea y te dedicarás a podar vides? Nah, que va. Sí, creo que echaré raíces allí definitivamente. No, Geralt, la senda Geralt. El camino siempre.
No, just not the life for me. Sure, might stop by there occasionally, stay the winter, fill up on wine. But I'd rather keep moving. It's not a choice being a witcher. And once you are one, you're one for life. You can't just step off the path.
La senda Geralt.
Besides, plenty of work left for me in the world. Ghouls aren't gonna kill themselves.
Rather droll, isn't it, that each time we meet, something harrowing must happen?
Ya.
I can remember a night, not too far from here if I'm not mistaken. We hid in a cave while a blizzard raged all about. Does that sound at all familiar?
How could it not? We just set off to rescue Ciri from Vilgefortz.
Oh, our encounter with Vilgefortz. That is something I do not remember so fondly. But that first stay in Beauclair, far calmer than this one.
Seemed like a land straight out of a fairy tale back then. Its sole problem, cellars too small to accommodate all that wine.
Appearances, Geralt. Appearances,
Las apariencias.
balloons and Dopplers deceive. So what did become of Vilgefortz?
Killed him. Sure wasn't easy, though. What about you? Any idea where you'll go?
Distance is of the essence. I thought I might venture south.
Nilfgaard?
Why ever not? The Nilfgaardians are a modern society. None there believe in vampires anymore. This fact alone could be very useful to one wishing to remain incognito.
Interesting point of view. I so don't feel like going anywhere. Sit here a while longer.
Yo no quería
So
que
we
Detlef
shall, my
muriera,
friend.
loco.
We have witnessed, and in fact on several occasions incited, many great and weighty events. After all that toil, I believe we deserve a bit of a rest.
That we do.
No rompas la cuarta pared, Geralt, coño. La rompió. Me miró directamente a los ojos. A mí. Su manejador. Ah, yo no quería que Detlef muriera, loco. Qué bueno. Ahora sí que sí, he terminado todo de Witcher, loco. Y siento obviamente esa nostalgia de los personajes, de todos. Desde The Witcher Main hasta The Witcher, la primer DLC y este también. Yo no quería que Detlef muriera. Pero si Detlef hubiese matado a Sienna, Ana Henrietta hubiese perseguido a Geralt quizás, de mandarlo a matar a Geralt. Entonces hubiese tenido yo que matar a Damien, quizás. No sé. Me da vainas con Detlef. Y me gustaría... A ver, yo estaba pensando en cargar partida y elegir otras opciones de diálogo diferentes de las que elegí pensando en que posiblemente me hubiese equivocado para que Ana Henrietta y Sienna terminaran juntas de nuevo y perdonándose. Pero no, fue correcta, las decisiones que tomé fueron correctas. La joda es que murió Detlef. Y me jode bastante matar a un personaje como Detlef porque era, como lo dijo Regis, era alguien muy parecido a Geralt. O sea, era un justiciero o un antihéroe justiciero. Y a pesar de que eran, o que son, en el caso de Geralt, muy diestros en combate y gente con cierto poder, no abusan de su poder. En el caso de Detlef, pues él nunca abusó del poder hasta que le dijeron que Sienna estaba secuestrada. Entonces, no es que ella enloqueció, pero tuvo que hacer lo que le decían que hiciera. O sea, hombre, que estuvo engañado, que no merecía morir. Pero claro, al final desencadenó todo el poder para el lado que no era. La intentó matar y por suerte la salvó el lazo. Así que, claro, si la intentó matar al final, sí que sí, o sea, es que no creo que haya otro final para Sienna, o sea, para Detlef. O sea, un final feliz para todos no podría ser. La vaina es que Regis también termina mal porque termina sin su amigo, el que le salvó la vida. El personaje que más perdió fue Regis, ciertamente. Ese fue el personaje que más perdió. Porque perdió a un amigo y la amistad con Geralt supongo que ya no va a ser tan igual. Porque, hombre, a pesar de que siguen siendo buenos amigos, tuvieron que matar mutuamente o juntos, mejor, a Detlef. Por todo lo que pasó. Putadiña, Pero bueno. Se ha terminado The Witcher 3. Ahora, ¿qué coño hago con mi vida? ¿Esperar el The Witcher 4? ¿Volverme a pasar The Witcher 3? ¿Pasarme el de Witcher 2 y el 1? No lo sé. Ya lo veremos. El siguiente video. ¿Cuándo será? No lo sé. Ya lo subiré. Cuando me encuentre a mí mismo otra vez. Venga, gente. Nos vemos. Ya estoy divagando. Hasta luego.
I'd love to go home.
¡Ay! ¿Qué me ha pasado esto? Momento, muchachos, no se vayan todavía. No apaguen nada. Ve a tu casa. Where is my ham? ¿Dónde está mi sardinilla? ¿Y dónde está mi amigo el vampiro? Ay, mierda. Geralt, asesino serial. No, Geralt nerd. Vámonos.
Vampires attack the city. Is that true? And lo and behold, I see better.
Ojo.
Master
Vivi.
Some unknown individual barged into the residence. I resisted as best I could, but to no avail.
Who is it?
Alas, they did not do me the basic courtesy of introducing themselves.
Detlef. Decime que es Detlef. Detlef.
What's that smell?
¿Jaskier? ¡Ay, Cirila!
You look good.
¿Cirila?
Calm. Don't just stand there. I want a hug.
Mijita.
What did you bring?
A Garkin from Angren. I slew it. All by my lonesome.
That why you left Carrera so suddenly? Had no idea where you'd gone. Your note was puzzling. Don't try to find me. Threw me for a loop.
That was silly. It's just that I felt stifled in your shadow. I'd have suffocated had I stayed. So when I read that notice, the contract, when I saw Angren, I knew I had to do it. Alone. Without my nanny.
I'm not your nanny. I believe in you. Like my new house?
The house is lovely, but it could use a bit of work.
Yeah, got plans for it, don't worry. Wanna go outside? Could show you the grounds.
Muy inesperado esto, ¿eh? No me hubiese imaginado nunca, loco. Que Cirila llegara aquí.
Ah, it's lovely here. I could stay forever.
Mami, quédese. Nah, no le va a gustar. O sea, yo le digo quédate, pero ella va a decir, yo soy una bruja. La senda, que era la senda. Vamos a decirle que se quede.
What's stopping you?
La senda.
Actually, not a thing. I slew a Garkin, collected my bounty. I believe I'm owed some respite.
Up.
Indeed you do, mademoiselle. As my major domo would say.
You've a butler?
A steward. Name's Barnabas Basil. BB for short, though I don't know if he likes it. He's the one let you in. I'll ask him to bring in some fruit, a beverage. You can spend the rest of the day lying about.
Ah, nothing would make me happier.
Being a witcher anything like you imagined?
Geralt, I didn't have to imagine anything. Remember, before we parted, we walked a good stretch of the path together.
Journeyman and master, though, not the same thing.
Ah, puto, tonto imbécil. Qué tonto que soy. La sorpresa que me dejó Regis fue Cirila. Creo. Espero.
I did learn from the
Tal
best.
vez.
Just passed on what worked for me. Or at least tried to.
I was thinking of Eskel and Lambert.
So, no regrets? Choice you made?
Not at all. I'm doing what I ever wanted to do. Being who I wanted to be. I believe that's one definition of happiness.
Encountered the most charming aspect of being a witcher yet?
Which aspect is that?
The hatred, disgust, that strange blend of admiration, fear, and contempt.
They set their hands on me in one village. In another, they forbade me from taking a drink from their well. Other than that, it's been all right. No one's tried to cheat me out of my reward so far.
I'd hoped they'd treat a woman differently.
Geralt, when they treat a woman differently in this world, it hardly ever means better. Quite the opposite.
Engrin, how'd it go? Garcanes can be pretty tough opponents.
That's why I had to lure this one to a place both spacious and empty, where it would have nowhere to hide. I found an abandoned crypt far from any town or village.
Good choice. Always best to avoid additional casualties, so your foe had nowhere to hide. But the bastard was still damn quick, I bet.
Not as quick as I am. My greater worry was its strength. I was far outclassed there. But a dose of black blood did the trick.
Muy bien.
We fought a while, I feigned a mistimed dodge and let it drink. The rest was easy.
Oh, y se acaba la conversación así.
See you later, Ciri.
Take care of yourself.
O sea que este se queda aquí. Ojo. Por muy humilde que sea. ¿Te vas a quedar aquí, Cirila?
See you've taken a liking to this place.
I could stay right here forever.
Y puedo hacer esto, que es lo bueno. Pimba. Este es un buen momento para dejar la serie aquí, muchachos. Geralt al lado de su hija adoptiva. Hablando de la casa de los brujos. Sí. Y es un bonito paisaje. Ahora sí, sí termina The Witcher 3, gente. Un placer habérselos traído. Siguiente juego no sé cuál vaya a ser. Muchas gracias a los que lo vieron. Muchas gracias a los que se pasaron. Nos vemos pronto. Adiós, gente.
Si les gustó el video, déjense un likeazo que se vea, comenten algo ahí abajito y suscríbanse al canal. Nos vemos, plaga.